Hello, so we are going to start by saying I hope you have a good day. I hope you're having a great day. Hope you had a great day. Now, we're going to be working on third grade, module 3, lesson 12 homework. And the lesson and the homework mirror each other. So if you didn't watch the lesson video, you can. If you completed the lesson in class and you don't need to rewatch the video to remember how to do it, that's great also. Eureka is really, really good about having homework helper pages. So the homework helper page actually kind of helps walk you through how to do the homework. If that's still kind of confusing, that's okay, because we're going to do it together. All right, so for number 1, it says use the array to complete the equation. First things first, anytime you see an array, and I tell my students you should always label it. If it's on a computer, you need to at least write down the equation that represents the array. So we label our rows, row 1, row 2, row 3. So we have 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 3 rows, 16 columns. So we have 3 rows of 16, I don't know what those objects are. We'll call them squishy lumps. 3 times 16 squishy lumps. That's what we'll call them. Okay. So I like to make sure that my students understand that they can relate this to a get chart. So our groups is 3. We have 3 groups or 3 rows. And those 3 rows have 16 squishy lumps in each row. And by counting our 3 rows of 16 squishy lumps, then we can obtain our answer. And that's completely fine. If they want to just sit here and count all of them to get the answer, that's great. If they say, well, I know that 16 plus 16 is 32, and 32 plus 16 is 48, they can do that also. That's great. However you solve the problem, as long as you do it correctly in the same way every time to make sure you get really great at whatever method you're using, that's the only thing that matters. So 3 times 16 is 48. We have our answer. But the homework, much like the lesson, is focused on using the associative property. And with that, basically, we're breaking apart the 2-digit number, which is kind of scary to some people, and making it more friendly. So we're going to turn it into an equation using the same numbers that would be in their fact family, right? So that it makes it easier to use. So we're going to bring down our 3 here. 3 times 16. 2 times 8. All right, because 2 times 8 equals 16. Now, the 2 and the 8 multiplied together is what gave us the 16. So to make it friendly, we're not going to put the 2 and the 8 together anymore. We're going to put the 3 and the 2 together. So 3 times 2 times 8. Well, what's 3 times 2? 3 times 2 is 6. And we bring down the 8. So we worked out what was in the parentheses first. It's our order of operations, parentheses first. And then we're going to combine it with what's outside of the parentheses, which is the 8. So it's 6 times 8. Now, mind you, we already have our answer, okay? If you want to get extra practice in by creating a ratio table, that's fine. You can. Times 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 times 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 times 6. Check off here. So we have 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48. That's my answer. All right, let's move on to the next question, which is 4 times 18, which means that this array should have 4 rows and 18 columns. Row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. Always label your array. And if you can't label it because it's on a computer, always at least write down the equation that represents your array. So we have 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we have 4 rows with 18 stars in each row. Get chart just to show how they are related. 4 groups, 4 rows, and we have 18 stars in each row or each group. 4 times 18. Now we might have some students that go, okay, well I have 4 18s, right? And 18 plus 18 is 36. And 36 plus 36 is 72. If your student thinks like that, that's awesome. If they don't think like that, that's still awesome. As long as they're thinking, it's awesome. So, any of my students watching, as long as you're thinking, I'm happy. All right. 4 times 18 is 72. All right. Now, that 18 is unfriendly. It's only unfriendly because it's a larger number than we're used to working with at this point so far, right? Multiplying a 2-digit number times a 1-digit number, and that's okay. We can make it smaller, right? What 2 numbers could we use to make 18? What times what is 18? So we bring down this 4 because he's all alone and he needs to be with the 18 some type of way, even though it's no longer going to look like an 18 at first, right? Because we're breaking it apart, and that's okay. So we're going to break this 18 into 2 times 9. 2 times 9 is 18. But we don't want to put this back together because we didn't like the 18 because it was a larger number than we're used to dealing with. So instead of combining the 2 and the 9, let's put the 4 and the 2 together. All right, now we have 4 times 2. Well, 4 times 2 is 8 times 9. Again, we completed the operation inside of the parentheses, and that operation ended up being the equation 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 9. Why does that sound familiar? Do I have a 9 ratio table on this page? I don't. But I have an 8 ratio table, and I can use that 8 ratio table to multiply 8 times 9. I just have to get there. I stopped at 8 times 6, but that's okay. Because with ratio tables, you can always add extra sections. All right. So I stopped at 6. So I go 7, 8, 9. That means my answer is going to be right here. All right. Let's go. 48, going to use my counters. 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. 8 times 9 is 72. All right. Now the homework is 2 pages, front and back. That was the front. This is the back. All right. It says place parentheses in the equations to make it true, then solve. We did the same thing for lesson 11. And so basically this is a review showing where we put parentheses in the equation to make it true, but also it's a combination of what we learned today as far as using the associative property to break apart those unfriendly numbers, those 2-digit numbers, to make them smaller and a little easier to work with. Okay, so the first one was done for you, 12 times 4. Now, if we look at 12 times 4, the unfriendly number is what? And we're going to look to see which number is the unfriendly number. Well, 14 is the biggest one, and it's a 2-digit number. So we see that they took that 14 and broke it apart into 2 times 7. Okay. But we want to move those parentheses because we don't want 14 again, because that's the unfriendly number. We want to make it friendly. Okay. So we put the parentheses here. And now we can complete the operation inside of the parentheses, which is 3 times 2, which is 6. And combine it with the operation outside of the parentheses, which is multiplying that 6 times 7. And 6 times 7 is what? Now, if you don't know what 6 times 7 is, that's okay. We didn't create a ratio table for it, but we can do one now. We can go ahead and create one now. And we can just put it right here. Oh. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means that the number that's here is going to be my answer. Okay. So 7. And I have 7 counters here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. I did that wrong. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. Check your math. I know my 7s and I knew I made a mistake, but go back and recount it and check it just to make sure, because nobody's perfect, including Ms. Jones, and I just made a mistake. So make sure that if you make a mistake, it's okay. Just go back and check your math. Okay, so we're moving on to the next question, which is 3 times 12. 12 is a scary number, according to this. And we're going to break that 12 apart into 3 times 4. They did that here, right? So we're going to move the parentheses from around the 3 and the 4 and move it to 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And 9 times 4 is what? And it's okay if you don't know it. That's okay. You can create a quick ratio table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. 36. All right. And the last part, it says solve, then match the related facts. Okay. First, we want to start with solving the equations over here on the right so that we can figure out which one it's going to match. All right, they did the first one for us. 20 times 2 is 40. And it matches 4 times 5 times 2. Well, let's just see what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and perform the operation inside of the parentheses. And lucky for us, all of the operations inside of the parentheses are the exact same. They're the exact same. So all of the operations inside of the parentheses are 5 times 2. Well, 5 times 2 is 10. 10, 10, 10, 10. So that means that the first one is 6 times 10. 6 times 10 is 60. The second one is 8 times 10. And 8 times 10 is 80. The third one is 4 times 10. And of course, 4 times 10 is 40. The last one is 7 times 10. And 7 times 10 is 70. Okay, now we have to match it with the equations on the left here. And we have to solve them. Now, if you already know what 30 times 2 is, that's awesome. If you don't, all of these are doubles, which means you're adding the number to itself. Anything that you multiply times 2, you can consider it a double, right? So 30 times 2 is the same thing as saying 30 plus 30, which is 60. 35 times 2 is the same thing as saying 35 plus 35. And you solve it. 5 plus 5 is 10. 3 plus 3 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. That's 70. And 40 times 2 is the same thing as saying 40 plus 40. 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus 4 is 8. So that means that 40 times 2 is 80. All right, now we solved the equations on the left. And we've solved the equations on the right. And now we're going to match the related facts. All right, so B, C goes to this one, and D gets matched to that one. And we've completed our 3rd grade Module 3, Lesson 12 homework. I hope you completed it correctly because we did it together. And have a great rest of your day.